Howdly doodly do, citizens of the nerdy world, welcome to the fashionably late review of Life is Strange, True Colors. We are always fashionably late, but we still have some words about games. I am your host for this episode, David McMoody, the glorious one. And joining me as always is my fabulous co-host, the glorious Amy Kate Alexander. How are you doing?
I'm great. I've had a great couple of days.
So have I. So have I. I've been
Excited for
thinking a
this
lot
one.
since
I'm
Sunday,
excited.
since I completed.
I'm
Yes.
excited for this one.
Yes, I'm very excited, especially this game you were not going to play, Amy, until later at the end of the year, and that's even more awesome. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to review Life is Strange: True Colors. Available on PC, Xbox, PlayStations, and Google Stadia, I believe. It will come to Switch later on in the year, if not beginning of next year, I believe. Okay, released September 10th, 2021. It is developed by Deck 9 and published by Square Enix, and the genre is interactive story. The description is a bold new era of award-winning Life is Strange begins with an all-playable lead character and a thrilling mystery to solve. Alex Chen has long suppressed her curse and with the supernatural ability to experience, absorb, and manipulate the strong emotions of others, which you see blazing as blazing colored auroras, just says. When her brother dies in a so-called accident, Alex must embrace her power to find the truth and uncover the dark secrets buried by the small town. The truth will hurt. Feel everything. Forge deep relationships, a truly personal story, and find your voice. Amy, we've finished and played Life is Strange: True Colors.
It's true.
Quick thoughts of what you thought of it before we dive deep into it.
Quick thoughts, top level thoughts. Okay, I can do quick. Who said I can't? Me, I said I can't. I can never do quick. But to start with, this game, Life is Strange: True Colors, is 80% of it is like top tier, amazing game of the year potential, best thing ever. Not ever, but you know what I mean. I'm in the afterglow of a brand new game. I'm gonna be a little bit excitable, especially when we do the spoiler discussion after this, which is gonna be a separate video. So don't worry about spoilers. And if you've clicked on this video, yeah, that's my top level thoughts. 20% of this game, we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
I'm intrigued by that 20%. But for me, I completed this game on Sunday, or the Sunday after we recorded our latest episode of the Words About Games podcast. And I texted Davey saying I finished Life is Strange: True Colors and basically said, this is my favorite game of 2021. I've been waiting for a game to literally grab me and shake me to my core, and this game has done this, not only emotionally but personally as well for me in my life. I absolutely adored every single character in this game, even the ones who you were meant to not like. They are there for a purpose and they do their role brilliantly and acted brilliantly. The visuals are above and beyond best that they've ever done in any of the Life is Strange games. They've really raised the bar in this game, and the visuals are absolutely stunning. It does keep to the Life is Strange visual style that they have with it, but it's just breathtaking throughout. I love the inspiration that they've basically used Inside Out, the Pixar movie, with the colors of purple, not for fear, gold for happiness, blue for sadness, and obviously red for anger. Sorry, no green or disgust in this one, and anything like that. They really probably should have had that one in there. But either way, I absolutely adored this game. I feel relieved in my life where I'm just like, I finally hit a game where it has literally worked for me brilliant. There's been some amazing games this year, but I've been waiting for that. For me, that next level game, and we finally hit that with this game.
I'm listening. Steph was on the screen.
Steph is an amazing character. I love that they brought her back from Before the Storm, the prequel, and she was all right in that game. We don't really see much about her or anything like that, but she's there. And then they've flushed her out brilliantly in this, and I can't wait for the DLC on the 30th of September when that comes out. So, Amy, what did you like about this game? Obviously, no spoilers. We'll get to that in another video, ladies and gentlemen.
Everything.
Okay. Thanks for the review. Bye bye. Where do you want to start? Characters, Alex. What did you think of Alex?
You like starting with characters, so we'll start with characters. Alex Chen's one of the best protagonists of the year. It's that simple.
Agree. She really is. She's so endearing, but so fragile, and so. I felt like I was her. I literally felt like I was her. Like with everything that's gone through for me personally, like I literally felt like I was her. And there's a scene that I will talk about and I'll spoil a review that kind of broke me a little bit, which I will get to when we talk about that. But no, yes, she is fabulous. She's so well acted in this entire movie. So basically, it's a movie. It feels like a movie. It's so great. In the episodes in the game, it's so well done, and I absolutely loved and adored her. I loved Steph. What they did with Steph is amazing. I love Ryan. Ryan's fantastic. Like we said off before we start recording. Deck 9, can you do it at the game with Alex, Steph, and Ryan, please? Like they are the new best friends squad. I'm not going to say that. The 2021 best friends squad, as Shira's no longer here. But no, yeah. Go on.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I would take an entire series. Like, if Life is Strange was just Alex, Steph, and Ryan for the rest of time, I think I'd be fine with that. Like, I loved all of the characters in True Colors, even the ones that don't get names. So I was like, I like you guys. Like, the couple that you see here, like, they're both the friends who are both clearly into each other. Like, for example. But, like, whenever those three were on screen, any combination of Alex, Steph, and Ryan were on screen together. Like, it's fucking best game.
It really is. There's a scene in episode 4 that is just so funny, yet so best friendish in the best way. It really is. Shows how strong their friendship becomes throughout this entire game, and that scene, which we won't spoil, we'll talk about it in our spoilers, is an epiphany of that. It really is just breathtakingly beautiful with what they do, and they are truly arguably the best friends in this game. They really are so great, Steph and Ryan. I loved both of them so much in this game.
Oh, absolutely. Like, the three of them together were just phenomenally good. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I need to bust out a thesaurus and just keep saying the word amazing, but in different ways. Because like the character work overall, there were some stunningly great moments, even with like side characters. Because outside of that sort of like core trio, and Gabe, who gets a lot of play in episode 1, leading up to his death. That's not a spoiler. It was literally in the description of the game.
When they revealed the game.
Yeah, like it was like the first thing you knew about the game. By the way, your brother dies.
You found your brother. Oh, and he dies.
He gets
great.
Like they give him the main character treatment in the first episode, and then from then on, it's those three, and then the other characters, they don't get a lot of screen time. But what they get is great. I think a couple of characters might have got a little bit shortchanged. Like I would have liked to have seen more of Diane. I would have liked to have seen more of Riley. But the even what we got to see of those characters, like, was stupendous. Like it's like a slight there's the main plot, which we'll talk about in a bit, but like a large part of this game is like a slice of life game where it's just like you're hanging out, you're doing stuff in this small mining town in Colorado, middle of nowhere. It looks. I wanted to move there. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted
lovely.
to live there. Oh my god!
Yeah,
but
I did as well.
But like, obviously, like everybody's dealing with this tragedy that occurs in the first episode. So like that informs a lot of the character interactions and motivations and what's going on, like as the game progresses. But like for the most part, the rest of the game is just it's like a hangout with cool people, and there's a plot, but. I don't know, I wasn't that bothered. Like, I wasn't that bothered by the plot itself. I was literally here for, like, I'm not going to say any of the specific things that happened, but I was just literally here for like the cool shit that happens between all the different characters.
Yeah, there is some amazing stuff.
It's funny, it's heartbreaking, it's tragic, it's life affirming, it's heartwarming, it hits a lot of different notes at different times with different characters and in different ways.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes back to the core premise of to keep thinking, making you think I've stopped talking and then I keep talking. But a lot of it comes back to the core premise of Alex, right? Like like in true Life is Strange fashion, obviously the protagonist has a supernatural ability, and Alex Chen's supernatural ability is basically like super empathy, where it's like she can see the auras of characters and like what they're feeling. If those emotions are if those emotions are particularly strong, like she can get overwhelmed by those emotions. Those emotions can take her over. She can, but when she starts learning how to sort of like control these powers, and you can start helping people with it. And that is another thing that drives a lot of the character interactions, which is just wonderful. Like, we have a shortage of empathy in the world right now, which probably explains why a video game can come out and be monumental, because it's about people being empathetic towards one another. But we don't see it enough in media as well sometimes, I don't think. And it's very nice. It's very nice.
There's so many parts in this game that I just broke. That just broke me. Yes, we'll just say, obviously, it's not a spoiler. The death of Gabe. It's like
so well done as well.
Yeah.
Because it's not when I found out, because going into the game, if you've seen a trailer or you've read a store description page, that he's gonna die, and I was expecting it to be this big moment, like in the game, and it's done in like 5 seconds. It happened so fast, and I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, it really is, and what I love so much is that you connect with the characters because of the death of Gabe.
Yeah.
You empathize because of the amazing thing they do with the first episode, with you connecting with reconnecting with Gabe. You fall in love with the other characters because of their pain they're going through. Charlotte, Steph, Ryan, all of them basically, they're feeling in so much pain and anger that you connect with them through that, and that's what makes this power so great. That you can you can choose to help them in any ways you can, or not help them in everything, and like they can come out with some really good choices, or can have some actually interesting differences that could backfire for you, maybe. Like there's one choice, I won't get into it until the spoilers, but I was thinking I was doing the right thing, and then afterwards I was like, I don't think I had done the right thing. And then the next scene I see that character, I was thinking, I have not done the right thing there. What did I do? I want to restart this episode. I didn't. I thought, I've already done the choice, Moody. I gotta keep going. I gotta push forward. It's gonna be all right. And then by the end, it's gonna be all right.
I did the right thing. Just saying.
Not bite me.
I did reload a checkpoint to fix a mistake I made, but it was the jelly bean counter guy in episode 4. I messed up the quest, and I was like, nah, I'm redoing this.
That's fair. Yeah. If it was a major one, I would say no.
No, I would never redo a major one. But I was like, I was like looking at the lady behind the table, going, I'm not letting you get away with this.
It was really well done as well, though. Yeah, it's like, and I love the town. The town is so endearing. Steph's record shop is like one of the best places to be. It's so well done.
Talk about Alex's apartment.
Alex, I want Alex's apartment. Yeah. That is the greatest apartment ever created in any game. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what GTA fans say or anything. This is the greatest apartment ever. I want that apartment. I'm going to find that apartment, or I'm going to find something similar to that apartment. I'm going to reshape it into that apartment.
So,
it's freaking awesome.
Check out the podcast in a few weeks when Moody and Moody are both living in Colorado.
We just moved
to Colorado.
Here we go. Working in bars, bartenders.
Like it was so cool how it made you just feel like, for me and a lot of people, because obviously like when I really enjoy a game, I dive into Twitter, I dive into like forums, I dive into like everywhere just to like see what people are saying about the game, and like so I know it's not just me when I say that. Like it made me like want to like be like not just like I feel like I am Alex and like I'm feeling the things that Alex feels. It was just
Yeah.
like I want this life, like in this place with these people. Like it's just great, and I have a great life. Like I've been very vocal about it on Twitter. I'm very blessed to have a very great life with great people in it. But if I had that life, I wouldn't complain.
You wouldn't be on Twitter. You'd be like, I'm
Fuck that.
chilled. I'm
What's it
fine.
called? My block.
My block. Yeah, you just with them, just around there. You got a little Twitter with them, with all
Just
the
social
characters. That's
media
just
just for
amazing.
people in Haven Springs.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
but
so
yeah,
well
you're
done.
right about the town. The town is just phenomenal. It's really interesting how they've opened it up as well, where it's just like you have a small portion of the town, but you have that to just sort of explore around in. Um, I didn't play the Life is Strange 2, but I don't remember the first one having that openness to it.
Doesn't really like you're in sections of each like part, like a part of school, a part of the dorms, part of
Like
the
you can explore like Max's room
yeah,
or something, or like
hmm
Chloe's room, and like look at all the stuff. And you still do that in this game. Like wherever
yeah.
you're like in the flower shop, or you're in the record store, or you're in Alex's apartment, there's always like some new stuff to look at, and you'll get the internal monologue of Alex, and it's always cool to like hear what Alex is thinking. Um, Steph's on the screen again, but,
It's an amazing distraction.
I can't help it. Like it's
Don't
just,
apologize.
but like the what was I saying? Oh fuck.
It's deceptively distracted you.
But yeah,
It was
it's
the
cool that
world.
like you can go out of Alex's apartment and just wander and look around the town, and you can find little they're not really side little vignettes of just like other characters just like having some stuff, or you can just like there's the guy outside one of the shops where he's just like you can read his emotion, and he's just screaming in his own head, and it's just like Jesus, holy fucking hell. And then you see him later and he's getting angry with his anger management book, and it's just like there's really cute little touches like that, but like
Yeah.
the whole world feels lived. Like it feels like people really do live there. It like
Yeah.
with a lot of video game environments and video game worlds, you can sometimes feel like too pristine, like no one actually lives here. But like everywhere you go, it's just like this is a place. This could just be a real place, like that you just wandering through right now, and I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, like the world is absolutely amazing. You've got the flower shop, you've got the quote unquote drug shop, I guess you could
The
say.
dispensary. It took me a minute.
Dispensary,
It took
yeah.
me a minute to click on with what that was, but I was like, oh yeah, it's legal in America now, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Well, maybe
So
at least in Colorado.
they
But
actually
yeah.
have in parts of America, but it's like, oh, they actually have
Yeah.
shops for that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shit.
And obviously you got the bar and you've got the record shop and everything, and it's like so well done. There's also a little kid in the game. He's adorable.
Not annoying.
Uh,
Like I tend to find little
yeah,
kids in games to be annoying.
yeah.
Ethan is one of the characters who was hit the hardest by the tragedy at the beginning of the game.
Which we'll get further into the spoilers.
And like he has this whole arc with it, and I won't say yeah, we'll get into some stuff with spoilers with Ethan, but like his arc is cool. It's good.
Mhm.
The kid is not like kids going through grief. It's just gonna sound like I'm a monster, but kids grieving in a story, like a lot of the times they can be really mishandled and just come across as annoying. Ethan never came across as annoying. Like I love the whole thing with
Yeah,
Ethan. It was very believable to me that Ethan would be feeling the things that he's feeling.
yeah. It was, yeah. He's absolutely adorable and endearing as well, and like I really enjoyed him. Like, and he's really smart with what he was doing with his comic books. Obviously, that's the developers who've created that, but like I just love that he's the character, he's the one who's done it. So I really enjoyed that. It's a lot of fun with the characters and everything. So we've delved into the characters. I'll also love the Zen moments. The Zen moments are so
You get a
cool, and
lot of
especially
them.
when you find them. Like there's a few of them around, and you hear that you just stop. The game basically stops and just starts a song, and you're just looking around the world, and it's like I'm just zenning. I'm chilling. It's just like, this feels so
It's,
good. Even though, God,
I was gonna say, especially as someone who I play most of my games with headphones on, so I obviously had the headphones for for this, and I was just like, I was just like vibing with the game. Like, you
Yeah,
put a record on, you sit next to a bonfire, you sit at the end of a pier, like, it's just, and
amazing.
I mean, it is like, it really, really is.
Anything else before we move on to some not the things that may not have worked for us?
I mean, when I say everything, I really do mean everything. So let me try and hit a few more points. One, it's definitely the facial capture and the performances of the actors
I
in the
think
game
that truly helps
are
here.
incredible. Like, there's so many like you can tell they've switched it up from Life is Strange didn't have motion capture. Life is Strange True Colors definitely has at least facial capture, because you can read people based on the tiniest movements of their face. Um,
The nods of the head,
the silent
everything.
conversations, just like a very slight movement of like an eyebrow, or like the way people are moving their eyes, like in every character, it's incredible. And I, as someone with ADHD, I play games with the subtitles on when I'm capturing footage for them, because that's just, you know what I mean, that's just how it's done, right? Like,
Yes.
for our reviews. But like, I have trouble focusing on when there's words flashing up on the screen for the subtitles. I have trouble not focusing on the subtitles when they're there. Like, I have to put effort into sort of like looking at the characters' faces or whatever's happening on the screen at the time. With True Colors, I didn't have as much of a problem not focusing on the characters when they were talking, because their performances were incredible. And a special shout out to, I'm sure this was some combination of writing, character design, for animation, and performance. But like, Alex Chen's performance as someone who is clearly an incredibly empathetic person was just fucking breathtaking to me. Like, right from the word go, like, in the smallest, like, subtlest moments. Like, there's a part at the very beginning of the game when you meet Ryan for the first time. He just appears out of nowhere. Um, in the record store, and is like, "Oh, the record store's closed," and like, there's just the moment. It's just the way, like, Alex is looking through the records, thinking about her brother, obviously, like, in a good place. But as soon as this big lumberjack-looking guy just comes out of nowhere and is like, "Shop's closed," like, it's the way she steps back and her eyes go down at the floor, and she grabs her arm, and you can see she's looking really uncomfortable, and it's like, there's just a lot of really cool detail in the way they portray the characters in those small details that really, really make the characters come alive.
Yeah, that's how great it is for the story for her in general. Like, the transition for her is incredible, especially by the end. And it's seeing that was just an amazing thing to see. Like, I agree. It's like, it's basically a combination of many, many things for that. And like I say, the upclass and like having facial animations and the greater performances and everything that really, really pull that off really, really well. And it's really, really well done. And
Like,
I just adored it.
I'm just noticing something now. Sorry, Steph's on screen again. I think I put a lot of Steph in here, but totally
I
by
think so.
accident. And I'm just watching. It's the jukebox scene. She's talking to Alex, and like, when Alex is talking to Steph, even when Alex is talking to Steph, you can see her eyes like she's doing the thing that I do, and that a lot of people that are like me do, where it's like, she can't make eye contact for longer than than a second, and it's that eye dot. And I could see it there, just there, where I was looking across at the screen, and I was like, it's that kind of thing, that it's a small detail, but it can make a huge difference.
Yeah, you're spot on there. The detail, they've really put in a lot of work in the detail here. Just like the other team did for like Tell Me Why last year. And the Deck Nine have done a great job here as well. So I'm really, like I say, I really, 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 really enjoyed it. I'm loving the cinematography. I think cinematography is some of the best ones
Yeah,
for this game, for of all the games. Like, there was a scene in the end of episode 4. You're in the bar, and how that is how it's directed and how it is shot with the certain animation colors. I was thinking, oh no. it felt kind of like go with me here when I say this. It felt very kind of Star Wars-ish to the part of like when Han Solo's on that bridge with Kylo Ren, and you see the light and the red on one face, and that's how it felt like a little bit. I was thinking, oh no, I see where this is going, but I'm kind of thinking, please don't do what I think you're gonna do, type of thing, and or whatever's gonna happen. And I was thinking, god damn it, it happened. But yes, it's like so well done, and I'm gonna say a special shout out to episode 3 because there is I don't think we can spoil it, so I don't think we can say it, but there's a task, I think it's best to say it, that you will do with Ethan in this game, and I think it is fan-effing-tastic, and I now understand where you, Amy, and Keith, and everyone else who does that, why you get enjoyed by that. And I see it now. I never realized it because I never watched it, I've never seen it, type of thing. And now I get it.
Yep.
And I understand that. You will understand what I'm talking about when we get the spoilers. But
in our follow-up video.
Yes.
You're right. Well, before we move on to critiques of the game, the soundtrack's incredible. MXM Tune, who does the singing voice for Alex.
So good.
But the music choices throughout the entire game are just wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I was a bit bummed. There's a moment where there's a specific, like when you're picking a song to play on the record player, there was the song I would have liked to have listened to, but I couldn't because I didn't have the record. We'll get into that in the spoilers. But I just picked a different song, and I was like, this song is still great. Like, it works so well. Like, it's the soundtrack I'm going to listen to, like, outside of play of the game, but it's not just that the music's good, it's that every musical choice fits every moment.
Yeah. I've already downloaded it on my YouTube Premium. I've already got saved on my music playlist already. I'm just like,
well, it was I went on Spotify and I was like, oh, someone's already got a playlist of like all the songs from Life is Strange True Colors, and I clicked it and there was no Kings of Leon, and I was like, have you even played the game? Like, I mean, I'm not personally not a massive Kings of Leon fan, but like if you're listening to a Life is Strange True Colors soundtrack, you can't do that without listening to this one Kings of Leon song. And if you've played the game, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
That is true. Yeah. I think that's really as much as we can go without spoiling things.
As far as we can go without spoiling stuff. The romances are fantastic.
Oh, yes.
Come back to our spoiler discussion to find out why.
Yes. Okay, so what didn't work for you in this game?
5.
You said there was Chapter 5.
Chapter 5 as a whole. And I can't get into this. Like, obviously, in too much depth because it's the final chapter of the game. But I'll try and do this as vaguely as I can while still getting my point across. That it's like the game forgot why I loved it all the way up until that point. Like, the things that you do in the first 4 chapters, you essentially wander around town and interact with all the different characters. And you don't really do that in Chapter 5 at all. Like, I get what they were going for at a certain point. Like, there's a certain point of the ending where it's like the point of it is all of the things that you've done leading up to this moment are what decides what happens in this moment. And I get that. That's really cool. Other games could have learned from that Mass Effect 3, but the lead up to it was, I can't say it was bad. It wasn't bad. Like, I enjoyed what they were doing with it, but at the same time, they did it in such a way where it was like, there were reasons why I was loving this game, and all of those reasons are currently not happening in the game. I'll get into this. I'll get into more detail in the spoiler discussion, obviously. But I also think that like the ending was way too abrupt, and it felt like there was a specific part of the game missing at the very end.
More DLC coming.
No, not that. That's a prequel.
Oh, but there's more coming. More.
That you'll
Give us
see
more,
when
Deck Nine.
it'll. It's,
I'll pay. I'm a schmuck.
I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to describe what I'm talking about without spoiling it.
Yeah,
And when we
that's
get into
fair.
spoiler discussions, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But
There's an element of episode 5 that just didn't work for you. That is fair.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it left me wanting more from it, and not in a way of. Or not in the way the rest of the game left me wanting more, where it's like, this is amazing, I want more of it. Like, Chapter 5 specifically left me wanting more, as in, is that it? Where's this bit?
Yeah.
That
I
should be
understand
here.
that. Yeah. I think I understand where you're going.
When the credits started rolling, I was a bit upset that there wasn't something else before it.
There's an element of episode 5, or there's an element of the story that wasn't really touched on and is shoved really hard in episode 5. I've a character, I will say, gets shoved in that isn't really talked about throughout the game.
Yes,
It's mentioned,
like you
but
can
not talked
find,
about.
you can find stuff
Yeah.
like very, very like hints. We'll say
Mhm.
it's sort of like this character, but I think you could redo the ending without that character even being mentioned, and I don't think it would have made a difference to the
I
story
agree.
at all. I don't think it
I
needed to
agree.
be there, and I'm not bothered by it being there. Like it doesn't detract from, for me, it doesn't detract from the ending at all. But I feel like my criticism of how the ending played out, like I feel like if you removed that one thing, that one character from the ending, you could then have the space to do Chapter 5 the way I would have preferred Chapter 5 be done.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you there. There was some bugs, like some of the games, like it's at the bottom of like the screen was like just flickering a bit. Some black bars keep appearing from time to time, but it wasn't anything. Didn't crash the game or anything like that. It always kept going away and everything. Load screens on your older consoles are pretty bad. They're long, I would say about a minute long, if not longer. But that's not the end of the world. At the end of the day, Amy's looking at
I've
me.
got a 1X, I didn't notice.
Well, you don't have a Series X. So when
I'm
I get
Series
that
S
Series
soon.
X, though, I'm gonna be smart. This is gonna be the first
Look,
game.
man,
Fuck Halo. Fuck Halo.
I've been playing PS5 all year. The fact that there's loading screens at all is offensive to me.
That's fair. That's fair. That's truly fair. But no, yeah. Apart from that, I love this game,
Yeah,
and I just want to say thank you, Deck Nine. Thank you to the entire team. Thank you for the characters you've created. Because Alex, Steph, and Ryan, all of them are, but those three
those three.
are
Like,
amazing.
when I'm talking about Chapter 5, and I will talk about it in more detail in our next video, like, yes, it impacted my enjoyment of the game, but not a great deal. Like, Moody can attest, because I was DMing him the entire fucking time I was playing it. I fucking love this game so much. There was just a little bit that just, oh, it was so close to perfect. But everything that came before, holy moly.
Yeah. And when we get into the spoilers, you will understand.
Yes, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I hope
Yeah.
I've vocalized it as best I can without being able to spoil it, without spoiling it. But what I will say is, because I invoked the name of this game before, so I will make this comparison again. Unlike in Mass Effect 3, where the ending of that game tainted everything that came before for me personally, the ending of Chapter 5 of Life is Strange: True Colors does not taint everything that came before it. For me personally, that's the difference. And also, I tweeted this, but if anybody watching this knows where they can find a really good phone wallpaper of Alex, Steph, and Ryan, hit me up.
Me. I want that.
I've been out all night for 2 years. I need it, and this just seems like the perfect opportunity for change.
That's true. Well, that is it for the review. Let us know what you think of Life is Strange True Colors. Did you like it? Are you in the middle? Or did it just not work for you? Leave a comment down below. And as it is that time for us to get out of here and go and do the spoiler review and also play more video games for us to eventually review them later, because we are the Fashionably Late Reviews and we are out of here. Say bye, Amy.
Bye, Amy.